Carlos Alcaraz, winner of the 2026 Australian Open, and now completed the career Grand Slam. When you came to Melbourne, you said, "This is what I want. This is my goal." What does it feel like to now finally achieve that?
Well, it feels amazing when you set up a goal, and it's been a really difficult 3 weeks, but not only 3 weeks. It's been it's been my first tournament of the season, so I just made a precision, just with my mindset, with my mind, just into this tournament. Just most of the precision, I've been thinking about getting ready for this tournament.
Carlos Alcaraz just sat down for his first interview after making history at the Australian Open, and he revealed exactly how he beat Novak Djokovic to complete the career Grand Slam. The 22-year-old didn't hold back talking about his preparation, his mindset, and what it took to defeat the greatest player of all time. The insights he shared are absolutely fascinating. What's more impressive, completing the career Grand Slam at 22 or beating Novak Djokovic to do it?
Alcaraz conquers Australia.
So Carlos Alcaraz just won the Australian Open, completed the career Grand Slam at 22 years old, and immediately got asked how it feels to accomplish the goal he set for himself coming into Melbourne. His answer? It feels amazing when you set up a goal and you accomplish it. Groundbreaking stuff there, Carlos. Tell us more about how achieving goals feels good.
You even said, you joked with us, that you might give up some other slams to be able to achieve this. Why the career slam so important to you?
That means you play a great tennis in every surface, and you adapt yourself and your game into every aspect of depends on the city you're playing. So every city is different. Every city has their conditions, and be able to adapt your game and yourself to that. It means that you are a complete player. So that's why I just. It's really important it was really important for me to accomplish and to complete the career Grand Slam. But right now, I get it. I have 3 more to ahead. So I just don't want to trade any of the other Grand Slams.
But actually, once he got past that obvious opening, Alcaraz dropped some genuinely interesting details about how he prepared for this tournament. He said it wasn't just a difficult 3 weeks. It was his entire preseason. Most of his preparation at home was focused specifically on getting ready for the Australian Open. That's laser focus on one specific goal, and it paid off with the one trophy that was missing from his collection. The commitment to that preparation is actually pretty impressive. Alcaraz didn't treat the Australian Open like just another tournament on the calendar. He treated it like the most important event of his year, structured his entire offseason around it, and executed the plan perfectly. That's championship mentality. Identifying what you want most, and organizing everything around achieving it.
To do it against Novak, the greatest of all time, to beat him on the path to achieve it, what does that feel like to do it against that opponent?
Well, it's great because I always say that you want to be the best, you have to beat the best. Beating Novak, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, tennis player of all time, and one of the greatest athletes of all time. Be able to beat him, it's great. That means that you've been working really hard and you've been working really well, and that's important as well. So really happy to see myself in the position that I am right now. Not because lifting the trophy, but see myself that I'm just getting mature. See myself that I just handle every situation much better than before, and that's my.
When asked why completing the career Grand Slam was so important to him, Alcaraz gave an answer that shows he actually thinks about tennis beyond just winning matches. He said, "It means you play great tennis on every surface, that you can adapt your game to different conditions in different cities. Being able to do that makes you a complete player." That's a mature understanding of what greatness means in tennis. He's right too. Plenty of players dominate on one surface but struggle on others. Some guys are clay court specialists who can't win on grass. Others are hard court players who fall apart on clay. The truly elite players, the all-time greats, can win anywhere. Alcaraz joining that club at 22 is absurd. Most players spend their entire careers trying to win all 4 majors and never get there. The sarcastic part of me loves that he mentioned he joked about giving up other slams to win the Australian Open before the tournament. Like he was willing to trade future French Opens or Wimbledons just to complete the set now. But then after winning, he immediately walked that back saying, "I have 3 more Grand Slams ahead this year, so I don't want to trade any of them." Classic athlete move. Say something dramatic before the event, then backtrack once you've won.
Start playing this sport as a kid and you have these dreams, and at 22 you're already making history. What does that feel like to be in the record books already for such a long-standing sport and tradition?
Well, it was something that I was really looking forward to do, to be honest. Putting my name on the on the books, in tennis, breaking records. But one of the records, or one of the things that I just really wanted to achieve in tennis, just the people can put myself in the table of the big guys. So it's a really long journey ahead of that. So everything that comes in that journey, welcome it is, and I'm just will be really grateful for that. But I just wanted to put my heart and everything that on the court for the next years.
But the real interesting part of this interview is when Alcaraz talked about beating Novak Djokovic to complete the career slam. He dropped that classic athlete line, "If you want to be the best, you have to beat the best," which is true but also kind of obvious. Of course, you have to beat the best players to become the best. That's how competition works. What's actually meaningful is what he said next. That beating Novak, one of, if not the greatest tennis player of all time, means you've been working really hard and working really well. That's Alcaraz connecting his preparation to his results. He's not saying he won because of luck or because Djokovic had an off day. He's saying he won because he did the work and executed the game plan. Then Alcaraz said something that's genuinely mature for a 22-year-old. He said he's not just happy about lifting the trophy. He's happy seeing himself getting more mature, seeing himself handle situations better than before. That's self-awareness that most athletes don't develop until much later in their careers. He's recognizing that personal growth matters as much as tournament wins. That maturity showed up in the final, too. When he lost that first set 6-2 in 33 minutes to a rampaging Djokovic, a less mature player might have panicked. But Alcaraz made adjustments, found his rhythm, and completely turned the match around. That's the maturity he's talking about. The ability to stay calm when things aren't going well and trust that you can figure it out. When asked what it feels like to be making history at 22 in a sport with such long-standing traditions, Alcaraz revealed something interesting about his goals. He said he really wanted to put his name in the record books, but more importantly, he wanted people to put him in the conversation with the big guys. He wants to be at the table with the legends. That's ambitious, but also smart. Alcaraz understands that breaking records is cool, but being considered one of the all-time greats is what actually matters. And he's acknowledging there's a long journey ahead to get there. Winning 7 Grand Slams at 22 is historic, but he knows he needs to keep winning for years to truly be in that conversation with Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic. The humility he showed in that answer is refreshing too. He said everything that comes on that journey, he's grateful for it. He's not taking anything for granted. He's not acting like he's already arrived at greatness. He's treating this as the beginning of a long career, not the pinnacle. That mindset is exactly what keeps champions hungry. Then, he said he wants to put his heart and everything on the court for the next years. That's a commitment to sustained excellence, not just enjoying this moment and coasting. Alcaraz is already thinking about the next Grand Slam, the next record, the next achievement. That's the mentality that separates good players from legends. The kangaroo tattoo promise at the end is hilarious. Alcaraz apparently promised himself he'd get a kangaroo tattoo if he won the Australian Open, and he's committing to it. He doesn't know where it's going to be yet, but it's happening. That's a fun detail that shows even while accomplishing serious tennis history, he's still a 22-year-old kid having fun with it. But let's talk about what Alcaraz didn't say in this interview, because that's equally revealing. He didn't make excuses about the cramping he dealt with against Zverev in the semifinals. He didn't complain about the 5-set matches taking a toll on his body. He didn't mention the pressure of trying to complete the career slam. He just focused on the work he put in and the results he achieved. That's championship mentality. When you win, you don't need to explain all the obstacles you overcame. You just talk about the preparation and execution. When you lose, that's when athletes start listing all the reasons why it wasn't their fault. Alcaraz winning and keeping the focus on his work rather than his struggles shows maturity. The way he talked about adapting to different surfaces and conditions is something casual fans probably don't appreciate enough. Playing on hard courts in Australia is completely different from playing on clay at Roland Garros or grass at Wimbledon. The ball bounces differently, moves differently, requires different strategies and shot selections. Being elite on all three surfaces is incredibly difficult. Alcaraz mastering all three surfaces by age 22 is what makes this career Grand Slam so impressive. It's not just about winning 4 big tournaments. It's about proving you can dominate in completely different conditions against the best players in the world. That versatility is rare, and Alcaraz has it already. His comment about beating Djokovic proving he's been working really hard is interesting too, because Djokovic, even at 38, is still one of the hardest workers in tennis. He's obsessive about his preparation, his diet, his recovery, his practice. For Alcaraz to beat him means Alcaraz is working at that same insane level. You can't outwork Djokovic unless you're absolutely committed to the process. The preparation Alcaraz described, spending his entire preseason focused on one tournament, is actually risky strategy. If he'd come to Melbourne and lost early, that whole preseason would have felt wasted. But he was confident enough in his game plan to put all his eggs in the Australian Open basket. That confidence was justified by the result. What's also notable is how Alcaraz talked about wanting to be mentioned alongside the big guys. He's not satisfied with being the best young player. He's not satisfied with being a future great. He wants to be in the conversation right now with Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic. That's the kind of ambition that drives sustained excellence. The journey comment is important too. Alcaraz acknowledging there's a long journey ahead shows he understands that completing the career slam at 22 is just the beginning. He's got potentially 15 more years of elite tennis ahead of him if he stays healthy. What he accomplishes in those years will determine whether he's just a great player or an all-time legend. His gratitude for everything that comes on that journey is the right mindset too. Tennis careers can be derailed by injuries, personal issues, loss of motivation. Appreciating each achievement as it comes, rather than taking anything for granted, helps maintain perspective and hunger. Alcaraz seems to genuinely understand that. The maturity theme he kept coming back to is really the key insight from this interview. He's not just celebrating the trophy. He's celebrating his personal growth as a competitor and as a person. That self-awareness at 22 is remarkable and suggests he has the mental tools to sustain excellence for a long time. Comparing this interview to how some other young champions have handled success, Alcaraz comes off incredibly well. He's confident, but not arrogant. He's proud, but not satisfied. He's celebrating, but already looking ahead. That balance is difficult to strike, especially right after accomplishing something historic. The specific mention of handling situations better than before is revealing too. Alcaraz is actively tracking his own development, noticing when he manages pressure or adversity better than he used to. That kind of self-monitoring helps players identify areas for improvement and measure progress beyond just wins and losses. When he said beating Novak means he's been working really well, not just really hard, that distinction matters. Lots of players work hard. Not all of them work smart. Alcaraz is saying his preparation was both intense and effective. The quality of work matters as much as the quantity. The complete player concept he discussed is something tennis fans should appreciate more. Being good on all surfaces requires different skills, different shot selections, different tactical approaches. Alcaraz having that versatility at 22 means he can potentially dominate for years across all the major tournaments. His comment about not trading any other Grand Slams after joking he would is smart too. He's resetting expectations. Don't think completing the career slam means he's satisfied. He wants to win multiple times at each major. He wants to build a resume that rivals the big three. One of each slam isn't enough. The part about putting his name in the books alongside the legends shows Alcaraz understands tennis history and his place in it. He's not just focused on his own achievements in isolation. He's thinking about where he ranks among the all-time greats. That historical perspective drives players to accomplish more. What makes this interview particularly valuable is that Alcaraz gave it right after completing something historic. His emotions and thoughts are raw and honest, not carefully crafted PR responses weeks later. This is authentic insight into his mindset and approach. Carlos Alcaraz just revealed the mentality and preparation that led to his historic Australian Open victory, and the maturity he showed is remarkable for a 22-year-old. The career Grand Slam is complete, but he's already focused on what comes next. If you're excited about Alcaraz's future dominance, smash that like button and subscribe. Drop your predictions for how many total Grand Slams he wins.